I've been to Autorama for many, many years. Ever since they started it. They actually started it about 1950. See, we had the first show in Modesto. Our Century Toppers Auto Club had a show in Modesto prior to the first Oakland show and prior to the first Sacramento show. That was November. No, excuse me. It was December of '49. Then the first Oakland show was February of '50. So it was cool that we had a show before that. They came to our show looking for cars for the first Oakland show and the Sacramento show. I brought this 53 Merc up. Actually, the customers are from Japan. So I built it and then rebuilt it for them and repainted it just recently. And it'll go to Japan probably in the next month or so. So I love it. I was raised in Modesto, California, and my first shop was there. Actually, my first shop was called Wendy's Custom Shop, and it was behind my mother's house. It was an old chicken house. First had a dirt floor, and then I put cement in there, and I added on to it a couple of times. And there's a new DVD out on me now, and it shows us going back to the chicken house this year, and somebody bought it, and they're tearing it down and moving it to a ranch to preserve it. I couldn't believe it. They cut up squares of cement where we had scratched our name in there, and I had put Wendy, 19 so-and-so, whatever the date was. So it's really great. I did a lot of cars for people around Stockton, Sacramento, Modesto, Fresno, all through the Central Valley for many, many years. Then actually in '66, I moved to Phoenix for 2.5 years, and I managed a AMT custom speed shop over there, and then we started building movie cars. So I built the Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV car, the Get Smart car, and just all kinds of movies. I did the shuttlecraft for Star Trek, just all kinds of stuff in Phoenix. Then I moved to Santa Monica, still with AMT, and then we did some more stuff there. We did Indianapolis cars for Granatelli and all kinds of stuff. In fact, Sam Foose worked for me in 3 different shops. I've known Chip since he was 2, and our families went to water skiing together and everything. It was a great fun. I did Back to the Future 2, and I did Blade Runner 1980. I did 25 cars for the movie Blade Runner. Still building custom cars, and I'm painting all over the world. There's a purple Cadillac there in the other room. I went to Australia to paint it. Last year I painted 5 cars in Canada, and I do metalworking classes all over. People ask me all the time, why do people build a custom car? Well, what they do is each and every owner makes what I call a statement. They make a statement with their car. So, you got 32 Fords out there by the thousands, and so it's very hard to make those a little different, but they always try to do little things on the dash and on the engine, and same with the 50 Mercs. 51 Mercs, the most popular custom car that was ever around. And they're still building them, they're still coming up with them. So I make a fiberglass 50 Merc, so we can still keep creating that image. But they make a statement with the grill and the dash and the interior. Each person tries to outdo the other guy. So that's why we do custom cars. I'm very busy. I have cars from Japan and Canada right now at my place, from Fresno, just all over the place. And I just keep knocking them out as fast as I can. Now, a lot of the younger people, see, some of them have the Japanese cars and they race them and all that on the streets. But then there's a lot of the younger people that are getting back into the cars of the 50s. They always say to me, well, I lived at the wrong period of time. Or they lived at the wrong period of time. So now they're building the cars like we did in the 50s, and just like the rat rod culture, all the primered vehicles and everything. Well, they're overdoing it, some of them, but they do a beautiful job. I mean, some of those cars are just so nicely engineered. They're far better than what we had. But the reason we had them primer is because we couldn't afford to paint them. So then later on, we did paint them quite often. But they rust them on purpose and do all kinds of crazy stuff to make them look like that era of time. So I think it's great that they're doing that, and so I like all kinds of cars, custom cars, hot rods, muscle cars, a little bit of everything. I'm having a great life, and I'm doing what I love to do, and I'm building custom cars. Never lost the love for it. I keep doing it, and people ask me all the time, when am I going to retire? Well, I tell them when they put me in the ground. When I can't move anymore, then I'll retire.